Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, my social media, or our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing a 2013 evolution of a watch that launched at Baselworld 2010. This is the Patek Philippe 5205R-010 annual calendar. 40 millimeters in rose gold. The timepiece is 11.5 millimeters thick by 49.5 millimeters lug-to-lug with a spacing of 20 millimeters in between the lugs. Throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist and you can see it's comfortable. Surprisingly broad though. The lugs have a lot of presence. They arc around the wrist, so they're not an awkward presence at the edge of a borderline wrist. And I would say the smallest wrist for this watch is probably going to be about 14 centimeters circumference, but it looks good even on those borderline wrists because it's thin and because it arcs around the edge. Now the strap, we'll take a quick look at the hardware and the software. Fairly orthodox, as you can see. It is a black, large rectangular scale alligator leather strap with a folded edge, a monotone stitch on the underside. You can see there's a more standard calf skin. It is a Patek Philippe factory strap in new condition, and it does include Patek Philippe's pull tab spring bars, so you can use nothing but your fingernail to remove the strap should you wish. There is also a polished and faceted spade style pin buckle for easy on-the-fly adjustment. I particularly like the detail of the distinct spline down the center of the pin. No detail overlooked in a Patek Philippe. This is a watch that is markedly more impressive in person than it is on the internet. Most of the time you see the soldier shot from the front, you think, okay, that's handsome, but the true sensuous, fluid, almost organic form of this case gets lost from that angle. You can see the lugs are beautifully scalloped with interior black polish and a concave mirror-like surfacing, but they're also cut straight through. The relief effectively executing a skeletonization of the lug profiles. You can see there is a concave profile to the bezel to create the apparent thinness of the watch, and then you can see that there are pusher adjusters in flank to help adjust the calendar system. Patek invented the annual calendar in 1996, but this is my favorite portrayal of it from Patek. They also have pointer-style annual calendars, and per the name, it need not be adjusted but once per year during the jump from February to March. I prefer these aperture-style displays. It's almost like a baby 5208, and it's easier to read than the other calendar Pateks. It features an unusual sector-style dial with a gloss black base, and instead of inking the sector, that is the separation of inner and outer chapter rings by virtue of radially arrayed transverse components, the transverse printing that normally creates the sectors within the chapter rings, here is actually replaced by faceted and diamond polished applique rose gold indices. So we have an all polished metallic sector dial, polished chapter rings, and those radially arrayed indices. We have a 24-hour dial down at 6 o'clock, so you know, for example, whether you're looking at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, and you can see the indicator is between 2 and 4, so we are looking at 3 in the morning. It is coaxial with a moon phase that has a 122-year adjustment interval, which is actually longer than the annual calendar. Of course, the 24-hour register lets you know the night hours during which you shall not use the pusher adjusters to correct the calendar. You have the day, the date, and the month, and the dial is handsome, simple, striking, and warm. It features faceted Dauphine-style hands at center, and then you turn the watch over and you get the caliber 324. So this is technically the caliber 324. Are you ready for the alphabet soup? 324S. So it has seconds, QA, quantième annuel, LU, it is a moon phase, and 24H does that 24-hour dial. It's adjusted in 6 positions and pivots on 34 jewels, and because of the combination of the anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, the Gyromax style free-sprung balance, which is shock resistant, the 6-position adjustment, and the Patek Philippe seal, the watch is guaranteed to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds from the factory. It features unidirectional automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings for a maintenance-free and very efficient system, energizing a 35 to 45 hour power reserve. The balance beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and as you can see, it is a nicely finished movement with mirrored bevels, Côte de Genève linear across the bridges, circular across the rotor. There is a lovely machined diagonal at the edge of the rotor. There is a spiral fashion engine turning or stippling at the center of the rotor, and then there's a larger engine turning on the base plate as well as the reduction wheel / click spring adjacent to the rotor. It's a good looking movement, and you should buy a loop if you buy this watch. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details concerning one of the most beautiful and memorable 5205 models.